Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another best of 3. Today with MEOMAIKA in the top left as our blue Zerg player playing for Team Juggernauts, and in the bottom right as our red Protoss player playing for Team Harstem Gaming. It is indeed going to be a MaxPax over here, and we saw, for the people that were paying attention, we saw a bit of an extractor trick and a 15 pool coming out of MEOMAIKA here. So an odd opener, an opener that we don't really ever see. And on top of that, we're also playing on a new map here, as this is Pink Moon. Now, Pink Moon is a map that has a ramp going down from the natural. You have a third base that is relatively well defended, but this open area might defending 2 to 3 bases a little bit tricky. You have a fourth base that has a very wide open area that can be semi-walled, but I think this is going to require like 4 or 5 gateways if you want to full wall this, which tends to be hard. Slow zones in the middle, delaying any move out that goes straight through the middle of the map. There are some rock positions as well on the sides. Let's take a look to see what MaxPax is going to respond to this initial threat, which is just going to be, well, so far 6 links making their way across the map. We see MaxPax respond with a Zealot as well as a Core First here. Although I'm not entirely sure if this Zealot is a necessity or if this is just something that he feels he wants to do. Personally, I don't think this is a real necessity. Now, MEOMAIKA is a player that has his own style completely, and trying to understand it is interesting, but I think it's more interesting to just watch him execute stuff, and then, you know, you judge afterwards. It's way more fun rather than trying to predict what's going to happen. There are some builds that I'm now familiar with. Proxy hatches, Nidus worms into Muta. I've seen him play 2-base Hydra with a hidden Spire. I've seen Hydra all-ins as well. A lot of it seems to revolve around a quick tech into layer on 2 gases. Whether that second gas is going to be used or not doesn't really matter, but that is what I've seen so far. Now, MaxPax here opts to go for a quick warp gate opener and a second gateway as well on the wall. That's actually kind of interesting. So delaying his own tech, and instead this is like a safety gateway, because it doesn't even really line up together with the warp gate research, right? Fairly odd. Okay, it's going to be triple gateways as a start. And at the same time, what do we have here for MEOMAIKA? Who's, by the way, called MEOMAIKA fan. He's a fan of himself. A man with a lot of confidence. Or just with a lot of self-love. I think both of these things are healthy to have, you know, to a certain degree. Another thing that MEOMAIKA really likes to do is just skipping queens. He'll get 3 queens initially, and then he'll stop building queens altogether. Blind Spore is going to get constructed here in both bases at the same time. Completely not necessary, because there isn't even a Stargate on the way right now. This has just been a 3-gate opener coming out of MaxPax. I think that first queen just went down. No, it's behind here. I'm sorry for missing that. And well, one of these adepts is going to end up falling. The second adept probably will get to go run back home. Zealot might get caught though by the metabolic boost links. I'm not so sure about that. It's difficult to say, difficult to see what's going to happen in the future. So far, single gas, lots of gas being mined here for MEOMAIKA. It's also supply blocked at 44 right now, and we'll need to start doing something. Whether that's going to be a layer or a third base, I don't care too much, but something needs to happen. There's no battery here yet, although we do have another backup pylon kind of securing this wall. Another backup pylon, so MaxPax does believe that something weird is going on as he techs into a Twilight Council. Now, MEOMAIKA behind this is going into the layer, the third base, and the second gas in the natural, as mentioned before. And there's a couple of options here. He loves to build links. He's adding some overloads. He's been on 44 supply for a very long time. He's also down 6 workers for no real reason. That's a different story. And we have this attack coming out right now, out of MaxPax. That's going to be with 6 adepts that do not have the glaive, the resonating glaives upgrade yet. So if a couple more links come out, which is definitely what's happening here, I do believe that MaxPax might be in a tiny bit of trouble if he gets caught out of position. Depends a bit on how he's going to shade, if he's going to shade in, if he's going to shade out, what the actual plans are. He sees the third base here and is going to shade in. That could actually lead to something bad here. Is MEOMAIKA hiding the links. I'm a fan of that. 3 more gateways on the way, as well as a prism here, with glaives finishing up in a couple of seconds from now. Hydra then is being constructed in the main base, as Yeah, these adepts without... I think MEOMAIKA could have fought this, even in this position. There's no glaives yet. Yeah, here goes MEOMAIKA, saying, I think I can fight this as well. Recall needs to be used here. So that's definitely a win for our Vietnamese Zerg player, who is now going to be on the defense against a 6-gate 2-base all-in with a fast glaives. And I mean, Lynx nor Hydras fight very well against Adept with glaive. So I kind of like this opener actually out of MaxPax. I think this could be very, very successful. 6 more Hydras are on the way. Where's that Prism? Here we go. Adept count is at 15. Well, there's 28 Lynx and 0 Hydras out at this moment. Queen is going to fall before anything big happens. Third base most likely is going to die as well. That will allow MaxPax to probably transition into something else. 4 more Adepts get warped in. These 3 bad boys accidentally finish up. And they meet the Hydras. As the Hydras spit them in their face. Third base is going to survive for now. 5 Hydras are out, so are 36 Lynx. I think this is going to be a fight that MaxPax most likely just straight up wins, right? 18 Adepts. I just don't think there's enough damage output, and especially not enough tanking ability here for our Zerg players. These Adepts just absolutely destroy everything MEOMAIKA has. And MaxPax wins game number 1 in this best of 3. Second map is going to be here on Cryolysis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is a snow or an ice map. I hope there's some snowy critters as well in that case. I always hate it when you have a beautiful ice map and then I think it's called the Ursadon, or the Ursalon, or whatever it's called, is not on there. It's literally the most beautiful critter. It's a massive polar bear-like creature that only has 10 HP, as much HP as a Karak, but... yeah, it's beautiful. Great critter. Interesting. Ooh. This felt more like a 4th base to me than like a 3rd base. Oh, maybe he agrees? Oh, he's gonna go back. He's gonna go back. Does he get it? Legendary. Still build it at 1 minute and 41 seconds into the game. So it's kind of late at, what was it, 22 supply. But I like it anyway. I like it anyway. Let's see what our Vietnamese Zerg player has in store for us, because I'm freaking curious. We have a semi-full wall. Not a huge fan of how MaxPax is doing this, but alright, I'll live with it for now. Does need to start chrono boosting out an Adept here immediately. And then we'll need to, like, I guess temporarily full wall this, right? Hello, hello, hello! There we go, second pylon coming down. Not so sure if that's going to be enough. No, it is going to be enough. The warp gate is also going to be enough. Second gate, once again, similar setup. And we'll see what the adaptations are going to be that MEOMAIKA will go for. Seeing that second gate once more. Obviously, skipping spores could be a very logical first step. It's rather expensive to build spores, especially if you're not playing against air units. So I was surprised to actually see that in the last game. As once again we have the third gate also coming down here. So it seems like MaxPax has somewhat of a plan against this. Could just opt for the exact same build order. Like, if I'm thinking of the range of builds that I've seen MEOMAIKA play so far in this tournament, on these new maps, I feel like that a lot of the builds will just suck against glaive adept stuff. I really do believe so. First drone is going to end up falling. Second drone is going to morph into a spore there. And this adept will go down. I think this actually was an okay trade here for MEOMAIKA. Losing 1 drone for 1 adept, that's definitely valuable. Twilight Council is being constructed here. Third base already on the way. I'm not quite sure how the drone managed to sneak by, but it did manage to sneak by, which is the most important thing. This adept is going to be in a little bit of trouble as Metabolic Boost is about to finish up in about 3 seconds from now. That means that this adept indeed is going to end up dying. It will die with 3, maybe 4 kills. Yeah, 3 kills. Some poor targeting there out of MaxPax. Could have been a 4th link kill. Still not worth it. Here comes the layer for MEOMAIKA that we have seen so much in the past out of him. And that went down at 334. Pretty fast layer. I'm kind of smelling a Nidus in this case. I mean, we don't have the second... Oh, here we go. Second gas. And a Nidus also doesn't make a whole lot of sense. A Ling Nidus against... Well, what is this? A Glaive Adept build, which is going to get scouted as well, by the way. One of the advantages of playing the early pool is that the second pylon needs to be in the wall, and thus the tech also needs to be in the wall. Now, Robo as a follow-up. Roach Warren being built. Okay. What are we doing here? So... Definitely a switch up and something I haven't quite seen yet. As there's 10 more links coming out. It's going to be actually 14 more links, and he probably is going to need them. It's going to be close to 21, 22 links, 23 links against 6 adepts. I hope MaxPax doesn't finish this shade, because right now there's not too many links out, but soon there will be a lot of links out. You don't actually want to lose your adepts before your glaives finishes up. Now, robotics facility is here, but there's no extra 3 gateways, so this is going to be more of a... well, not so much of an all-in like we saw last game. This is more of a macro build, really. I'm curious if... what MEOMAIKA is going to be doing here as well. Like, is this just going to be a 39 drone Roach all-in off of 2 gases? Or is there going to be some transition coming out of this? We do see an Overseer being built. And then being cancelled and being built here in front. This Roach is in a little bit of trouble. It's going to run back up to the 3rd base location, where there's not a single drone, by the way. This is a low adept count. Only is 11 adepts. There's 31 links and 3 Roaches. I don't actually think these adepts can finish at all. 10 more Roaches are on the way. There is a Robo-Bay being constructed as well right now. These adepts are just hitting the 3rd base. Okay, here comes a warping in towards the main. This hatch is actually taking some damage, which sucks. In the main base, these adepts, well, they're going to start flying over to the mineral line. I like this position for MaxPax. Yes, there's no 3rd base yet, but at the same time, a lot of units are being constructed. And there already is going to be a disruptor on the way very soon. On top of that, MaxPax also is scouting the fact that it's going to be pure Roaches behind it. So he could already be preparing for a counter-attack here, which seems kind of inevitable. I mean, you kill 14 workers, you lose a lot of your adepts. I don't think you need to build a Nexus anymore. You just need to get some batteries in your natural and be completely fine. There's already 1 battery there. Now, the most important thing here for MaxPax is going to be to not actually go and defend that 3rd base, because that would be a mistake. It seems like he wants to, though, getting a battery in that position. There's 3 more adepts on the other side of the map. I mean, MEOMAIKA is just going to walk up this ramp and say, hey, why are there no units here? And I think that's a pretty fair question. Disruptor just now starting. 1, 2 adepts will fall before that shade finishes. Actually, 3 adepts end up falling before that shade finishes. Here comes... oh, this is the first disruptor out. Here we go. Purification Nova is going to connect with 1 Roach. That's not quite enough. There's, of course, the Glio Reconstitution, the Roach Speed. And this 16 drone all-in is going to... is going to kill MaxPax, I think. 58 army supply against 23. There are no invisible units. There are no air units. That means that these disruptors need to start hitting in a very, very big way. And that is currently not happening. Next disruptor coming in. Are the splits good? No. But I think it doesn't really matter. This is the final unit that MaxPax has. As there's 11 drones left remaining. And with a 14 drone, 7-minute attack, MEOMAIKA manages to take out MaxPax here on Cryolysis. Which is kind of surprising, honestly. But he does it again. Surprise after surprise. And the score right now is 1-1. And that brings us to the final map here on Lazarus Waste. If you've been watching any of my videos on the new maps recently, you'll be a little bit familiar with this one. This is the map where you have the initial 4 bases with a lot of walls around it. A lot of kind of artificially created chokes with these cliffs. They're just walls. They're just walls of cliffs, honestly, around these bases. And then the 5th base is going to be covered by rocks. But the 5th bases also have 10 mineral patches per base. Like, this base has 10 mineral patches. The 6th base or the 7th, whichever you're going to take it as, also has 10 mineral patches. So there's 6 bases with 10 mineral patches each, which will, I guess, turn the late game, like make it go a little bit longer. It's an interesting thought for sure. I think it's an interesting thought, at least. Forces the spread of the bases a little bit faster. Now, what are we seeing here out of MaxPax? A quick scout. What are we seeing out of MEOMAIKA? A pull first once again into that hatchery in the natural. No proxy hatches this time around, as he did last time against Showtime. If you haven't seen that series yet, absolutely recommend watching that. I will not spoil it, but I will spoil that there's some rather cool strategies being used there. Rather cool strategies indeed. Now, MaxPax once again opening up with that core before Nexus. This time around only 2 links coming out. So it's kind of interesting to see the way that MEOMAIKA plays with the number of links that he has. And says, hey, if I'm building 4 links, you probably want a different response than if I'm building 2 or when I'm building 6. So if you can always hide the amount of links that you're building, I think that's quite good as a Zerg. And it forces a very general response out of the Protoss against the pool first, which isn't always the best in every single scenario, depending on the amount of links that is being constructed. Although this time it feels like MaxPax is so quick with this Adept That is not really going to matter. Second gate is being constructed here for that full wall. So for a third time in a row, MaxPax believes that he understands how to beat this, that he completely gets it. And I kind of agree with him. I much prefer playing this type of glaive build against a player like MEOMAIKA. Look at that. This is a Roach rush timing. This isn't like last game at all. Last game that Roach Warren came during the lair, got built after the third base was built. This is completely different. This is going to be an early Roach pressure, and we already see an Overlord being constructed here. Wouldn't surprise me if we see another Overlord. Yep, there we go. MEOMAIKA's getting a lot of gas. Now, the funny thing here is that usually if you're a Protoss player and you scout this, you scout the lack of a third base, you say, okay, I'm being all in, I'm gonna get a battery in my natural. But because MEOMAIKA plays so weird, the mind game kind of works in his favor here. And it's like, well, you know, it's the same as the last two games, and there was no early all-in there. There still was the setup for a later all-in, but you don't want to rush out a battery against that. As a result, we don't actually see a battery being constructed here for MaxPax. So MaxPax potentially in a little bit of trouble right now, where he's going to get pushed back the moment Metabolic Boost finishes. These Roaches are going to start moving out on the map. There's a lot of gas available for Ravagers as well. I don't know if you can hold this with just, what, 5 Adepts? Which is really what MaxPax is going for. It's going to be, yeah, 5 Adepts. That's it. That's all there's going to be. They might not even be in the correct location. These Lynx can definitely dodge this. Oh no, if he finishes this, they might even get caught here by the Lynx. That would be huge. That would be huge. Here we go. MaxPax is paying attention. Is going to instantly recall, but will end up losing 1, maybe even 2. No, just 1. A lot of damage on the other 3. Full wall goes down immediately. We see a battery being constructed here as well. More Adepts rather than going for Stalkers. I kind of like that, I think. I wouldn't have minded seeing a single sentry, though, just to kind of lower the area that the Lynx have to attack. Like, you're gonna want to bring in your Lynx at some point, I would believe. Lynx are being hidden in the back right now. This pylon might end up falling before the battery finishes up. That would be huge. That would be absolutely massive. Pylon indeed goes down. But MEOMAIKA's just... Oh, he's... Oh. He's pretending like he stopped the all-in. Right now he's pretending like he stopped all-inning. But it's still happening. Uh-oh. Yeah, look at that. Another Ravager gets constructed. More Lynx on the way as well. More... It's just 25 workers. And it's 2 bases. Oh no, MaxPax, you don't want to move out right now. You want to be sitting at home. You want to be sitting at home. Look at this, MEOMAIKA's just dodging this. If this finishes, and MEOMAIKA goes for the base trade, do you go for the base trade or do you kill it? He's gonna kill it. He's gonna go for it. There's no... Oh my god, you can't be serious. Look at these vials. Oh my god. 41 Lynx. 4 Ravagers against 2 Stalkers and 2 Adepts. Now, there are batteries behind this, but what a sick and ridiculous play here out of MEOMAIKA. MaxPax getting too greedy. This pylon is gonna go down, and there's absolutely nothing to defend right now. These batteries should be getting targeted down. It's gonna hit some of his own Lynx in the process as well. Is there a super battery available? There's simply no energy. Oh, no. Should be hitting some of these pylons at the same time, though. Yeah, 12 workers going down. Don't forget, MEOMAIKA needs more than killing just workers. He's still only on 2 bases and 25 workers himself as well. An Immortal's going to pop out. Super Battery is available right now. Adepts are still staying alive as well. I can't believe this. MaxPax is potentially holding here, I think. While staying higher in the worker count as well. MEOMAIKA immediately transitioning out into more drones. I can't believe he... 46 Lynx. And 4 Ravagers against 4 gateway units without a super battery being around. It feels like the target fire there wasn't optimal out of MEOMAIKA or the control there. MaxPax with a fantastic job defending that, is straight up going to counterattack. And MEOMAIKA throws down a hatchery and continues pumping out units. This is the never-ending all-in of, like, basically no workers. Wanted to go for a run by here, isn't quite going to succeed with that. 1, 2 Ravagers on the way. More Lynx also being produced right now. I mean, this Observer, I'm not so sure why MaxPax is so extremely keen on moving across the map. I think if you scout that your opponent has no workers, you just go home. You don't have to do this. It just carries some risk with it as well, right? Like, just being here. Oh, that bio is definitely going to connect. MaxPax sees that there's no workers here whatsoever. No workers whatsoever. You're up 5 workers against the Zerg. That's great. There's no tech whatsoever for the Zerg. No lair. guess it doesn't really matter, because it does seem like MaxPax is winning this fight. Adepts are punching pretty hard here against these Lings, and the Immortals doing a fantastic job against the Roaches. A couple of Adepts are going to finish their Shade. One in the main also finishes, but is going to get cleaned up. Natural's in a bit of trouble as MEOMAIKA down to 53 supply against the 68 of MaxPax. The control of MaxPax has been phenomenal in this game. The decision making a little bit less phenomenal, but I still believe that it's going to be good enough. Immortal's going to die and the Adept Shade finishes up in the main. We'll start working on these drones, and with these drones falling, I mean, 21 workers against 35. We're looking at a very desperate situation here for our Vietnamese Zerg player. While the young Danish Protoss seems to be walking away with this game and with the series. Immortal actually managed to stay alive, didn't quite realize that. Prism makes its way across the map. I mean, can just walk in, warp in 4 or 5. Yeah, okay, 5 gateways, so 5 adepts. And I just don't think there's enough here to really fight that. I mean, this Immortal's going to get his barrier back online. GG gets called. MaxPax with an unlikely win here. That is really quite unbelievable. I just want to go back to that moment. I can't believe that he actually managed to win. That is so ridiculous to me. That is just so ridiculous to me. Where was it? So, look at this. We currently have 49 Lings and 4 Ravagers against 4 gateway units and 2 batteries. No super battery available and only 3 gateways for reinforcements, which have just warped in. So you clear this, so your Lings can get in. That much is obvious to me. I think you even just run like 15 Lings into your opponent's main base, right? That probably is just the correct call as well. Taking out that one makes some sense. Yeah. There's a lot of Lings behind as well, which is an issue. Ravagers felt like they were blocking so much damage output. Like all of these Lings have just been fighting gateways and cyber cores. Really think that if you send 10 gateways in, 10 Lings into the mineral line here in the main, or 20, they just straight up win the game. But didn't happen. And instead, MaxPax is going to walk away with the series. MaxPax wins 2-1. Congratulations to him. That's going to be it for me today. If you did like this, if you do like the new maps, be sure to leave that down in the comments. Which map was your favorite? Be sure to tell me. And which player of the 2 was your favorite as well. I hope to see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much for watching. And bye. Bye.